Hi, my name is Leonard. Welcome to my instructional video about how to play James Taylor's Carolina in My Mind. First, I'd like to point out that the strings of the guitar start on the first string, which is the smallest one, which is normally called the top string, and then ended up on second, third, fourth, fifth, and then finally the sixth string is the lowest. And that's the way it's written on a pack of guitar strings. So just in case you are always wanting to know, that's the way the guitar string makers label the strings. And so again, this is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And the bottom is always the bass notes. So Carolina in My Mind is a song by James Taylor that has some basic chords. This video is not an introductory guitar video, it's more of an intermediate. I don't play it exactly like James Taylor, I just play it well enough that I can enjoy it, and hopefully others will too. So the main chords in Carolina in My Mind are the chord, the first one we'll talk about is the D chord. First of all, there's a capo on the 3rd fret, and so this is the D chord. This is how I play it. So you hold down 3 notes, and so what I do is this particular song I finger pick, and so I use my thumb on the bass notes, and then I use my first finger usually on the 3rd string, my middle finger on the 2nd string, and my 3rd ring finger on the 1st string. So it ends up being something like this. So 1, 2, 3. So this is a D chord, and what I just did is called a hammer-on. And so what I'm doing is on the 1st string, I'm just playing it open, and then I'm adding the middle finger there. And so that's just a D chord. The 2nd chord is the G. Now, a lot of players will add this 1st finger on the B note for a more fuller sound. But sometimes, depending on how I'm playing, I will include it or not include it. So sometimes you'll just see my finger up in the air, but know that I'm playing a G. And then there's a bass note that goes down. It's G, F sharp, E. And so again, I'm going from the G chord, and then I'm playing a full D chord with the F sharp on the bass. And then I'm playing in E minor. So those are some of the chords in this song, and then another chord is the A chord. Some people will play it with just their finger going across 3 strings, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th string. So sometimes you'll see me playing it as a bar, like that. Sometimes you'll see me playing it like this, where I hold down all 3. The reason that I'll do it this way is so that you can, for example, add different notes like this, which I believe that's a 3rd, a 2nd to a 3rd, or a 9th is what that would be called, an A9, because you're adding the B right there. Again, all the notes that I'm talking about are in respect to the capo, so it's not the actual notes that you're hearing, but the notes that I'm playing in respect to the capo. So again, that's the D chord, the G chord, a D with an F sharp root, and then an A minor, and then an A chord. 'Cause in my mind I'm going to Carolina. So all I'm doing there is I'm just playing the D with the D9. 'Cause in my mind I'm going G chord, D with an F sharp minor, E minor. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? And ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. So a little bit going on there. Again, I'm doing the intro, and then the verse starts off, 'cause in my mind I'm going to Carolina, and then I do a B bass note, so it goes B, A, G chord, can't you see the sunshine, A, E minor, B, A, and then I do a C sharp here, so this C sharp bass note, A, B, C sharp, which is the third. So again, in my mind I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? And that's where we ended up. And now the next part does a walking bass down. It goes, ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm. So that's just a D with that D root bass, and then I add a C sharp. So ain't it just like there's a C sharp, a friend of mine? So I'm adding my thumb there to hit that B right there. And then A, I'm playing it open. And then I do the G. Hit me from behind. So it's just G, D with an F sharp, and E minor. So from the beginning. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? And ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. So James Taylor's always adding these cool riffs, and one of them is that he likes to do is with the D, and it's just a D, a chord there, but then you pull off on the first string. You pull off on the first string, and then you pluck the second and the third. So you pluck off, you pull off on the first string, and then you pluck the second and third, and then you, instead of doing a pull off, the next thing you do is a hammer on. In other words, you pluck the string and then you finger it. Just like at the beginning. So pull-offs are where you're holding the string and you let go of it. A hammer-on is where you pluck the string and then you add your finger. So that's a hammer-on. 'Cause in my mind I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Go to the next chorus. Next verse. So it again, we're just staying on that D. Karen, she's the silver sun, and that's a C chord. So, standard C chord. Some people play it like this, where it's much fuller and you're plucking all 6 strings. Me personally, I like to emphasize the bass notes, especially that C. And so instead of seeing me play it like this or like this, you'll actually see me play it with just the, I'm going to dub or mute the 4th string. So that way I just get the low C, and then I get the top 3 strings. So that's how I like to play my C chords. So again, it's Karen, she's the silver sun, you best walk away, and that's just a G chord right there. Again, I like to play my G chords. Again, there's multiple ways. Many people will make it like this, where it's a full G. I like to use what's called a harmonizer pedal, and so if I play a G, 1, 3, 5 would be a G, a G, a B, and a D. And so harmonizers like to have the 3rd, in addition to the root, they also like to have the 3rd of the chord. In other words, G, G, and then a B, 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 G, A, B. So there's the 3rd right there. And so whenever I play my G chords, I like to play them so that instead of hearing the high D, the harmonizer doesn't know how to sing a major 3rd harmony with that. And so what I like to do is I like to play it without it. I like to emphasize either the major 3rd or the minor 3rd of the chord. And so in a G chord, I'm going to play it like this, so that 3rd rings out instead of the 5th. So I like to make sure that the 3rd rings out. So I like to play it like that for the harmonizer. And then I also like to emphasize the bass. And so instead of playing these 2 notes right here to an octave pedal, it kind of gives it too much information, if you know what I mean. And so what I like to do is I like to just make it simple for the octave pedal to play that bass, and I'll just give it the 1 note. So what you'll see me do a lot of times is I play my chords in kind of an unusual way. I play them so that it emphasizes the 3rd, and as far as the bass is concerned, I make sure just to play a standalone note on for the bass. And so that's why I play my G's like this. And so if you're thinking, oh, that looks wrong, you should be playing it full. Well, if I was a single guitar player in a full band, I would. But in my weekend entertainment act, I play by myself a lot, and I play where I emphasize the bass notes, and I play with my harmonizer, so I emphasize the major 3rd. Okay, so back to the verse again. Karen, she's the silver sun, you best walk away and watch it shine. Now that is just a A7, but I've added the A sharp because I'm going to walk up to a B minor. So again, Karen, she's the silver sun, you best walk away and watch it shine. Watch her, watch the morning come. Okay, so I threw in another chord there. It's a B minor. Again, I'll play it up until that point. Karen, she's the silver sun, you best walk away and watch it shine. Watch her. There's my first bar chord. It's a B minor. Again, I'm going to play that B root right there, the bass note, and I'm going to pluck. I like to use my first 3 fingers as much as possible. So I'm just going to pluck the top 3 strings. Watch her, watch the morning that's just an A. And again, we're doing those pull-offs and hammer-ons because James Taylor loves to do that kind of stuff. In fact, I think he even fingers some of his chords differently just so he can do those different hammer-ons. I know for a fact he does the D in a different way than what I do. But I seem to be able to do most of the hammer-ons and pull-offs that I like to do, so it works for me. Okay, so again, that verse is Karen, she's the silver sun, you best walk away and watch her shine. Watch her watch the morning come. A silver tear appearing now, and I'm crying. Ain't I? I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Next verse. Ain't no doubt in no one's mind that love's the finest thing around. Whisper something, something kind. And hey babe, the sky's on fire, I'm dying. Ain't I? I'm going to Carolina in my mind. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? And ain't it just like a friend of mine who hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Dark and silent late last night, I think I might have heard the highway calling. Geese in flight and dogs that bite. Signs that might be omens say I'm going, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. And then the interlude is what I would call it. It's just a part of the song that's a little different from the rest of it. It's where he does a walking bass with the Holy Host of others standing around me. So again, it's just that G with a Holy Host of others, A chord, and then standing around me. There's that B minor, but I add that little pull off. So you got to make sure you have a lot of finger strength for that bar chord. And then, so again. With a holy host of others standing around me, still I'm on the dark side of the moon, and it seems like it goes on like this forever. You must forgive me. So that's just a, I would call it a part of a G chord, because there's that G, but you're just emphasizing the B. And it seems like it goes on like this forever. You must forgive me if I'm up and gone to Carolina in my mind. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? And ain't it just like a friend of mine who hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. So at the very end of the song, he kind of, instead of going from D to B like that, at the very end, he changes from the D to the F sharp. Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Going to Carolina in my mind. Say nice things about me, 'cause I'm going to Carolina. And that's Carolina in my mind. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.